So the end of season 3 has been pretty boring. I mean, we haven't gotten too much content, as that's the reason why I haven't been posting as much. Not because I'm burning out, but just because there isn't anything to make. But regardless, one of the main sources of content that we get, especially at the end of the season, is Diamond Duos. And looking at this tier list that I'm about to go through, we've only had 7 Diamond Duo packs in this entire season, and we'll probably get only one more on Friday. So that's just something with the content. But regardless, today, within those Diamond Duo cards, I'm going to be ranking them on a tier list. Starting off the C tier, we have 2 Philly starting pitchers. We have Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. The first of the 2 Philly starters that are in the C tier is Aaron Nola. And looking at like the Diamond Duo cards, it's so hard to distinguish like the tiers because they're all good cards because they're all 99s. It's not like the XP reward path where you have the 97s in a tier and you're obviously going to put most of them in the B and the C and then the bosses in the S and the A. This one is pretty difficult. So a guy like Aaron Nola, who isn't bad, he's not like a C tier caliber player, but just based off the other Diamond Duo cards from this season, he's probably the worst one. I mean, he has a good pitch mix, and he has good stamina, good per-nines, maxed out pitching clutch, but his velocity is really bad, and his control is pretty solid, his break is okay, but it's like there's nothing too spectacular about this card. And then it's kind of the same thing with Zach Wheeler, like again, 108 stamina, 104, 107 per-nines, good, 109 pitching clutch is good as well, has 99 velocity, does not have outlier though. If you're looking at the pitch mix could be a little better. 4-seam slider, sinker, slurve, curveball. You're probably thinking, yeah, sinker, slurve, but when you combine that with a slider and a curveball, those 3 pitches are all so similar. I mean, that's literally what a slurve is. It's a combination of a slider and a curveball, hence the name slurve. It's literally a combination. So for someone to have a slurve and then have both of those other pitches as separate pitches, it kind of hurts them. And control could be better on the curveball, and same thing with break. Moving up to the B tier, we have 3 players. We have Alex Gordon, Marcus Stroman, and Mark Mulder. When this Alex Gordon card came out, I thought to myself, wow, I am surprised he is this good. And look, Alex Gordon, this is the best Alex Gordon card we've ever had in MLB The Show. 99 overall, gold glove. He can play left, first, third, center, and right. It's Alex Gordon, so he's going to have insane defensive attributes, as he does. 97 fielding, 94 arm strength, 92 accuracy and reaction, and his speed being 78 with solid stealing is good. But the hitting, man, like Alex Gordon, when have we had an insanely good hitting Alex Gordon? 119, 114 contact, 116 clutch, 99, 101 for the powers, 98 vision. Like, this card is a B tier card just because his power is a little lower than the guys above him, but man, this guy can be on God squads. In season 1, the charisma Marcus Stroman was one of my favorite pitchers, and when this 99 came out, I was like, okay, I might use him. Honestly, that's honestly what I thought, but I haven't ever used him. But 106 stamina, 121, 125 for the per-nines and clutch. That's elite. That's S tier caliber. The pitch mix is S tier caliber. Sinker, slurve, cutter, 4-seam splitter. Like, that is a disgusting pitch mix. Looking at the control, it's very good. Could be a little better on the splitter, and then the break could be a little better on a few pitches. But my main issue with this card is the velocity. He only throws 93, and the Ks per 9 only at 94. You're going to be getting so many foul balls with this Marcus Stroman card pitching. Mark Mulder was the other Diamond Duo with Alex Gordon, and he was another guy who I actually thought was going to be better than people thought, and I was correct. I mean, I knew that pitch mix, sinker, curveball, splitter, slider, cutter, that's really good. He's kind of like the exact same situation as Marcus Stroman, except better Ks per 9 and control. Yeah, or that's break. Better break and Ks per 9, but with Mark Mulder, he has worse per 9, so like hits per 9 and pitching clutch, 105, 101. Good enough, but not the same level as Stroman. So you're sort of, it's kind of like a seesaw with him and Stroman. You're giving away some stuff, but you're getting better at some stuff. He also does not throw hard at all. He only throws 94 on the sinker, but a solid pitcher. Moving on to the A tier, we have Barry Larkin, Joe Musgrove, Justin Morneau, Luis Castillo, and Nick Castellanos. I feel like Barry Larkin is one of the most underrated legends in MLB The Show every year, especially like that 99 from MLB 21. It was pretty similar to this card, 109, 108, 109 contact, 103, 116 power, 98 vision, 104 discipline, 109 clutch. Defense is very good, 92 fielding with 89 reaction, has arm strength and accuracy in the 80s. Speed is always going to be there for Barry Larkin. So he's going to be an A tier for pretty much one reason. Like, look, Barry Larkin, this card on paper, there's not one thing he can't do, but there's not one thing that he's elite at, I would say. Maybe power versus lefties. He is really good at everything, but he's not insane at anything, really. It's no knack on this card. It's just you have to make these observations when you're putting them on a tier list. So Barry Larkin is going to be in the A tier for me. Joe Musgrove is going to be another card in the A tier for me. Slider, four-seam cutter, sinker, changeup, so he has the pitch mix. It's a no-hitter card, so he's going to have really good hits per 9 and pitching clutch with 122 and 118. And obviously these are all parallel 2 stats. 112 stamina, 105 Ks per 9. Like, there isn't one bad thing about this card. The control is great, could be a little higher on the changeup. Same with the break, but there is one bad thing. It's the velocity. Joe Musgrove is a combination of Mark Mulder and Marcus Stroman in the fact that he has the hits per 9 and the pitching clutch, and he has the Ks per 9, and he also has the pitch mix and the stamina. So he literally has everything except the velocity. He just doesn't throw hard enough to be an S tier starting pitcher. This pitcher, this Joe Musgrove card, he could be a solid starting pitcher for your ranked team, but he's not going to be your ace. Like, he's a very good card, but he's not an elite card. So that's A tier for me. Justin Morneau was the other Diamond Duo card when we got the Joe Musgrove. And looking on paper, this card is insane. I mean, maxed out power and clutch, 114, 107 contact. So good enough, still pretty good. Definitely very good versus righties. The reason why he's not in the S tier. Now, I understand defense isn't really as important as at first base than any other position, but it still holds value in a guy. Like, if you get a yellow throw and the guy has horrible fielding and you're not going to scoop it. So I have to play that into my rankings, and also the vision and discipline could be higher. But besides that, this guy is everything you need at first base. Luis Castillo, look, I mean, he's an insane pitcher in real life. 106 stamina, 111 hits per 9, 101 Ks per 9, 112 pitching clutch. Velocity is always going to be there. He's always going to have outlier on that sinker. Control, very good. Break, elite. He just needs that fifth pitch, man. If he just had that fifth pitch, if it was literally anything outside of a two-seam, literally any other pitch instead of a two-seam, this card would be an S tier card, which is such a shame. And the home runs per 9 is 80, but that's a simulation stat. So if anyone wants to point that out, home runs per 9 doesn't mean anything in online play, or I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Which, I mean, if it doesn't, why don't they just take it out of Diamond Dynasty? But anyway, Luis Castillo, this is a very good starting pitcher card, but it's going to be like Joe Musgrove, where he's going to be a good starter, but he's not going to be an elite starter. So A tier for me. Now let's go over as there's a deep drive in the left field by Castellanos, and that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. Nick Castellanos is one of the most notorious MLB players of this day and age just because of the memes around him. But looking at this card is good, man. Maxed out contact versus both sides and clutch. Power is in the 100s, so it's very good. Vision is very good at 102. Discipline 94, would hope for that to be a little higher. And defense, pretty good for a Nick Castellanos card. He typically has putrid defense, but you can actually, he's actually playable in the outfield. And he has 71 speed. So this guy you can actually put in the outfield. First, third, and left, can also play the corners. But, I mean, if you want to know why he's not going to be in the S tier, is because we have an outfielder in the S tier who pretty much has everything that you get with this Nick Castellanos card, but better fielding and speed. So literally just because of that, he's an A tier card. And then for the S tier, we have Camilo Doval, Granny Man Curtis Granderson, Kyle Tucker, and Will Smith. The first card in the S tier is going to be Camilo Doval. I'm pretty sure he's the only relief pitcher in this tier list. And man, this card is a beast. When I used his WBC card in Season 1, he was probably my best righty reliever. I mean, that card was really good. And this is just that card, but on steroids, basically. 125, 124 per 9s, 122 pitch and clutch. That's all elite. 99 velo and break, great. He has outlier on the cutter, so he throws a cutter at like 102. I mean, the control, very good. The break, elite. I mean, and the pitch mix, slider, cutter, sinker. That's all you really need from a reliever. This guy is one of the best relievers in the game. S tier 100%. The other outfielder that I was talking about when talking about Nick Castellanos is Curtis Granderson. 108, 114 contact, 115, 125 power, 92 vision, 105 discipline, 115 clutch. So he's kind of like the inverse of Castellanos. He has insane power and very good contact. But Curtis Granderson has him beat in defense. He's gold across the board. He has better speed. He has better stealing, better base running, aggressiveness. Obviously worse vision, but better discipline. So it's kind of like a trade-off. But I prefer this Curtis Granderson card over Castellanos because he's better defensively and he has better speed. So Curtis Granderson, S tier. As much as I hate the Astros as a Yankees fan, like I don't have a choice. I have to hate them. Kyle Tucker is like one of the most underrated players in the MLB. Now, the typical fan knows how good he is, but he's been having like an MVP caliber season this year, and he wasn't even an all-star until he was a reserve replacement or whatever. He was an injury replacement. Like, if you look at his numbers, he should have maybe even been a starter, honestly. But regardless, 107, 125 contact, 101, 97 power, 125 clutch, 112 vision, 100 discipline is very good defensively. The reaction is a little low, 75. But he has pretty good stealing and base running aggressiveness as well. Speed could be a little higher. But comparing him with all the other outfielders, Kyle Tucker, S tier. The last card in this tier list is going to be Will Smith, the catcher from the Dodgers. Now, this card is very good. I mean, obviously we had a ton of insane catchers in the season, and none of them beat Adley. But this card is pretty close. Like 112, 101 contact, 103, 125 power, 102 vision, 124 discipline, 109 clutch. Defense is good enough. I mean, it's in the gold. That's still very good. 84 fielding, 87 arm. He's 86 blocking. I mean, the accuracy, the reaction you would hope to be a little higher. It's at 74, but it's not horrible. And he has pretty good speed for a catcher. He can also play third, which is pretty interesting. But Will Smith, let's say that you can't afford or you can't make World Series and you can't get Sean Murphy, or you just didn't pick him, and you don't have enough to get Adley Rutschman and you already picked Acuna. This is the catcher that you guys need. He's definitely an S tier card. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're new here, follow me on all my social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, but most importantly, make sure you're subscribed on here on YouTube. So yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace.